Today is a gift. Henry Nouwen writes in his book, The Road to Daybreak. He says, I often think a life is like a day. It goes by so fast. If I'm so careless with my days, how can I be careful with my life? I want to take a moment to share how you and I can live the message of Christmas this day, today, this moment. To see how you and I can live the Christmas message today, I'll need to first talk about the American commute, then a bit about Mary of Nazareth, then about your news feed, then a bit more about Mary. All right, here we go. Starting with the American commute. A couple of months ago, the Washington Post had an interesting article titled, New Habits Are Making More Commutes Miserable. Researchers have found that the average commute in the DC area, where I live, has increased 20% between 2019 and 2023 to an average of 35 minutes each way. Now, you might be thinking, how can this be when more people than ever are working from home? Well, it turns out less people are taking the metro, about half of pre-pandemic levels, and more people are driving. Weekends are also congested because all the folks who are working from home come out on the weekends, leading to unprecedented traffic and delays on Saturdays and Sundays. One other helpful thing to know, research shows long commute times are linked to obesity, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, back and neck pain, divorce, depression, and even death. Who knew? Now, I bring this up because some time back I was stuck in traffic on a major highway close to my home. There was an accident, and I happened to look around and see the faces of drivers all around me, and they looked absolutely miserable. One man was yelling into his phone. Another woman had her hand on her forehead, lots of frowns. There was a guy who kept thumping the steering wheel, lots of frustrations. I was sensing lots of disappointment, impatience, and weariness. No one looked optimistic, upbeat, delighted, or happy. And I was thinking, this is reality for a lot of us. Commuting, waiting, disappointment, impatience, and weariness. And this raises an interesting question. If God came into this world as my Savior and Lord, why am I still stuck in this difficult commute? Why are things so hard? Why do I have to make this tough journey? Why did I have to go through that? Why the waiting? Why the disappointments? Why the weariness? Where is God in all this? Now then, a little bit about Mary. She grew up in a little-known town as a little-known teenager. One day, an angel appears and gives her the startling news that she had been chosen by God to give birth to a son. And that this would be no ordinary baby. He would be the Son of God Most High, the Messiah the people had been waiting for. He will be the King of Israel, and his rule will never end. Now, things don't get easy or convenient or comfy or calm for Mary. In fact, toward the end of her pregnancy, she has to make this week-long commute from Nazareth to Bethlehem. Now, we wouldn't blame Mary if she were to think, this is not what I had in mind when I agreed to carry the Messiah in my womb. Why am I not in a palace giving birth to the future king? Why can't I at least have my family and friends near me during this time? If this is God's grand plan, why am I stuck in this difficult commute? Why are things so hard? Why do I have to make this tough journey? Why did I have to go through that? Why the waiting, the disappointments, the weariness? Where is God in all this? And maybe as they stop on the way, maybe she feels the baby move inside of her. God is here with me in this commute, in this journey, in my life today. Moving right along, let's talk about newsfeed. Millions of us subscribe to customized news feeds. We can tailor the news and chatter that come our way so that it lines up with our views, values, opinions, and biases. We don't have the time to live three-dimensional lives, and we would rather have the information coming our way chopped up, flattened, and made easily digestible. Cynicism is the dominant current mood in our culture and our world. We don't want to trust anyone who's outside our desired and stated group. We fear being let down. We worry about being deceived. We don't want to get hurt again. Author Anne Voskamp writes in her book 1000 Gifts, she says, in a world addicted to speed, I blur the moments into one unholy smear. And I think what Christmas does, what the story of Jesus does, if you allow it, it invades the cynicism with the healing news that one day, this day, does not have to be like another. Maybe your life and your days right now is one unholy smear. The rush, the speed, the circumstances, the disappointments, the pain, the hurt, the weariness have been too much. And you believe things are not going to change unless, as you take another small turn in a difficult commute, you realize God is here with me in this commute, in this journey, in my life today. Emmanuel, God with us. That day when I was stuck in traffic, the lane next to me suddenly opened up. The cars moved along, and I was like, yes, of course the other lane gets to go faster. And then it slowed down, and I saw this car pull up next to me. And there was this lady in that car, and she was smiling and singing with all her might to some song playing on her stereo. I couldn't hear a thing, but I couldn't help smiling and thinking, I want to hear what she is hearing. She was swaying from side to side, and she couldn't care less about the traffic, the delay, the inconvenience, because she was tuned into something that was far greater than her current circumstances. See, bearing Jesus did not make life easy for Mary. The inconvenience of pregnancy, the disruption of her schedule, the upsetting of her plans, and yet she proclaims, my soul glorifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for he has been mindful of the humble state of his servant. Luke 1:46-48. See, Mary is tuned into another channel, a channel that flows the joy and peace and love of God into her soul. So what if this Christmas you allowed God to enter into the most jaded and cynical parts of your heart? What if you lived every day from this day on with this renewed and greater awareness of God's presence and love and grace all around you? What if you tuned in? There'll still be traffic and frustration and delay and inconveniences. But like that lady in the traffic, like Mary, your soul will be singing a new song, just like the angels and shepherds did on that first Christmas. See, in a world racked with cynicism, in a world of Caesar and Romans and Herod, filled with violence and oppression and brutality and injustice and poverty and slavery and extreme hardship, the angels insist they are bringing good news that will bring great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. A light has appeared in the darkness, and people who are stuck in traffic, in a difficult commute, stuck in pain and sorrow, stuck in sin and shame, stuck in cynicism and fear, stuck in oppression and injustice, stuck in circumstances and frustrations beyond their control. People who are waking each day in anxiety, people who have experienced hurt and pain and betrayal, people who are afraid of what they're seeing and hearing is happening in our country and our world, people who walk in darkness have seen a great light. You come to him, and like Mary, he will give you a new song. He will fill you with his grace. He will flood your heart with his love and hope. This Christmas, let's tune in. In the next episode, I'll talk about how to have an awesome 2024. But until then, God bless you, friends, and I wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas.